Welcome back to part two. I was going to put part one and part two together, but I realised part one was a good 20, 23, 24 minutes long as it was anyway. So naturally, ending after the ending of part one and into the part two of the immersive experience and starting this as a part two kind of made sense. Again, if you're new, these is a spoiler alert to my experiences of all the worlds, what I was going through. So if you haven't been here and you want to have the experience for yourself, then please fast forward this till right at the end, because I don't want to give anything away for you. But if you are thinking not going or might not go for a little while, then please stick around and I'll give you more experience of what I went through. So we got to the bit where part one ends and you are on a boat and you escape to a town. I forgot what the town was called, and you end up at the Red Weed Bar. The Red Weed Bar is basically a 20-minute interval. It's just like a typical bar. It's much smaller than the first bar you go to when you first start the experience, and it's a good place where you can just chill out a bit, talk to your group if you want to. I ended up talking to the group because I just didn't want to stand around looking like a lemon or anything. So I talked to my group and we asked what everyone thought, and everyone generally thought it was really good. And yeah, generally it was really good. Part one's really strong. And then eventually you are about. Also during this, you can actually get your cocktail if you actually purchased one with your ticket. I think this was an extra £10 or something. I didn't, because I don't normally drink that much. And you get sort of like a red weed cocktail, which I heard was like a bit. Yeah, I heard it was pretty nice. I didn't try it or anything. And then afterwards, anyway, you are then led into part two of the immersive experience, which starts off with you being led to sort of like a very spooky small room where there's loads of graves, and you're then asked to confess some sins and stuff like that. Because this leads to the second part of the storyline where you see the parson Nathaniel and his wife, and you are shown him going insane. The church gets attacked, and you were led into sort of like a confession little booth, and in the booth you had your VR headset. I put my VR headset on and it wasn't very good. It wasn't very comfortable whatsoever. So I could make out the visuals all right, but I just couldn't hear the sound very well. And that lasted for a little while, and then you actually get caught by the Martians, which is different to the Jeff Wayne album, because the Jeff Wayne album you don't actually get caught. Actually in the book you don't get caught. So you get caught, you see what inside a Martian looks like, not in the Martian looks like, the actual Martian machine looks like, and yeah, that goes all right, I suppose. You then escaped, and then you go down a slide, which was quite enjoyable. It only goes on for about 3 minutes or so, and you go down the slide, you get rescued by the artilleryman, and this when the Brave New World then kicks in, which is the artilleryman's visions of what the future world would be like, living underground while the Martians are on top. And he's a very good actor as well. He had great fun bonding with it, interacting with the group that you're in. Again, if you're in a good interactive group, then you'll have a very good experience, because you'll have to form a group. And then you're led into sort of like a small little room where, if you've ever been to sort of like observatory places where you look up in the sky and they do little shows of what this universe looks like, you do that, but it's towards the Brave New World song, which was originally sung by David Essex in the original version, and that lead singer Ricky Wilson of Kaiser Chiefs sings it in the New Generation album. But anyway, you see the show, you see his vision of what a brave new world. You kind of sit down and you look above, and the way it's filmed, you go in and out, left and right. Oh, it's not VR, but my God, this made me feel a little bit ill. The song Brave New World is a great song, but no offense to the singer, he wasn't that tuned. He was okay, but he didn't have a massive singing voice, so this was definitely a re-recording. I've heard better versions of Brave New World. Obviously the music was Jeff Wayne and that was amazing, but the singing sounds like in most of those songs are new re-recordings. So you go and see that for about 10-15 minutes, and then you're led into sort of like an escape room. kind of feels like an escape room to me, where you and the group have to combine and try to find some blueprints, which is in a lot of rubbish, a lot of sort of like metal rubbish. So kind of like in a workshop, you've got to go and look through all the sort of like metal sheets, cogs, things such as that, and you find a couple of blueprints. You're in there for about 10 minutes or so, and then you are then led by another artilleryman into the balloon ride. And the balloon ride is the end of the show. Actually, the balloon ride, you put your VR headset in, you go into the balloon, and then your balloon rises and you look at your VR headset and you look outside of, you're sort of like out on, how can I describe it? You're looking below and you see England below you, and you see how the Martians are dying. The VR headset here was okay, it wasn't brilliant. You could see that the houses and all that were fake, very fake. It was on a grid formation. You still saw the grid formation as well, so this is a bit of a weak area of the actual experience, I feel. And then you are finally landed where you actually share your cockpit with George Herbert, HG. Herbert George even. You're led in the balloon, and he goes out and he meets Carrie, and you see a fallen Martian. You then you move into the Martian and realise that bacteria has killed them, and it does a little bit of bacteria, and then there's celebrations and stuff like that. You then eventually this eventually ends, and you take off your VR headset. You're then led out of your balloon into basically a photo booth area where they take pictures of you and your group. Again, out of the 11 people, I was the only one not in the couple, so every time she was asking people, they were going 2 by 2, and I was like really no mates by myself. But I had some really good pictures taken. Hopefully this will work, because sadly my internet has gone down again. So that's one of the pictures anyway. So you were asked to do 3 types of pictures. One's a happy picture. There's me trying to be happy. I don't know if this will work or not, because there's no internet. Oh yes, it does. There's me being attacked by the Martian. So you had to do a happy picture, a panic picture, and then a victorious picture. And there's my victorious pictures. And yeah, these were generally very good. I was wearing a waistcoat, as you can see, so I wanted to sort of like look like I was in kind of like Victorian dress. And it was also, yesterday was also a very hot day as well, so I couldn't really wear too much. But yeah, I got all 3 pictures, and you could have all 3 pictures for about £25, which was, yeah, I know expensive, but I wanted to get the experience. And then you were led out, and the person who leads you out said, another lot have survived, and you get a round of applause by people watching you who are just going into the show themselves. And then you're led into, you then can go and get some more gifts, and I got these pictures obviously, and I got a TAN card as well. And that was about it. So again, what do I think overall? Was it worth the money? Basic ticket price is around £50 to £60. If you were paying for a cocktail, it's a bit more than the standard price. I think it's about 52 if it's a cocktail. It's a bit more. Obviously I can't show you the website because my internet is down at the moment, but that's the main page you go to. I got a 20% or 10, 15%, 20%. I got a discount anyway, and so my ticket was actually £42. Was it worth £42 to £50? Yes and no. I think part 1 was definitely worth it. The interactive with the actors was very good. They were all very good. They were all superb. They really got into their roles. And if you're in a good group, it can really be a great experience for you. I felt like part 2 was weaker. Because like for instance, the which I gotta remember, the Nathaniel Parsons bit was done very briefly, even though it was a major point in the album and the book. Well, the album more than the book. And then going into the Martian was a bit pointless. The escape was fun, didn't last long enough. And then it would have been nice to have more interaction with the artilleryman because he was so good. The Brave New World bit was okay. It made me feel a bit sick though. But I do get motion sickness. If you don't get motion sickness, you'd be fine. The escape room, finding the blueprints, yeah, I don't know why we're doing that. That seemed a bit pointless. And the balloon ride was okay. So yeah, I thought part 1 was generally a lot better than part 2. Thunderchild bit, going along the ocean, that was really good. That was a really good experience. Going into Herbert's house, meeting the maid, she was superb. The artilleryman was really good. I enjoyed part 1 definitely more. The VR, again, the VR is hit and miss. It was a bit buggy in places, but generally it was good. And yeah, it was a great experience having VR, I suppose. It's the first time I ever experienced VR myself, so when you first put your headset on, after 2 minutes or so, it felt a bit weird. But I did enjoy it. Is it worth the price again? I think it is. I think it is because of what experience you get. If you really get into it, then I think it's worth it. It may be a bit pricey, but it's kind of like the same price as you pay for other big functions in London. And you get 2 hours. The time does go quickly, so roughly it's 2 hours with a 20-minute interval. So it's roughly 70 minutes, part 1 and part 2. The music was amazing. You get the music all the time wherever you go. The actual, when you're walking around between each set, it's really good. And the amount of hard work they put in to make you feel like you're in Victorian England being attacked by Martians is superb. Red Weed Bar, yeah, it's okay, I guess. It was just like a chill out moment, give people a bit of a rest, I suppose. And I think it's, yeah, if you're a War of the Worlds fan, if you like anything to do with War of the Worlds, then definitely you need to go to this because this is amazing. If you're a sci-fi fan and like sci-fi, then again I'll say, yeah, you enjoy this. If you're not really a sci-fi fan, or if you don't really know much about War of the Worlds, then it's up to you if you like it or not. I think you will. And yeah, it's definitely worth going. So that's the end of my immersive experience. I hope you enjoy hearing this, and I will get to download this soon onto YouTube as soon as my internet is back up and running. So that's me for now. Goodbye.